Hell no, we won't go. Hell no. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful we have a wonderful class today. We've got some interesting stuff planned. For those of you that were around on Monday, we covered a variety of different things, and I want to cover them in a different way today. Okay, the big topic here is shape shifting. You guys understand what I mean when I say that? So you have your traditional body, right? Like the way we are. And then try to imagine walking through a crowd. You know how, you walk through a crowd or a busy bar, you kind of, your body shifts, right? And you understand that you need that ability for a very specific period of time. Can everybody hear me good?
Yeah.
As long as you can hear me. So some of the best training for shape shifting I did when I was 19 till 30, when I was going out to a club or a bar. You would have to work your way through the bar and club, and you'd have to watch out for people, but also their drinks and their cigarettes. And you'd be like, you didn't go through it like a bull in a china shop. You kind of went through like that, right? In my later years, when I went out to the woods, I would have to do this going through a forest. It was sometimes dense, and you had to kind of move your body in such a way. Now, that's not how you move in life all the time. That's just for a specific period of time, right? So when you encounter different things in martial arts, like a knife or gun or multiple attackers, your ability to move your body freely and shape shift and take whatever shape is necessary is very important. Okay. Now, I'll give you an idea that I saw of this. It was a long time ago. And we were doing outdoor training at one of the very first Systema camps. And I remember being with Oleg, not Oleg, sorry, Constantine. And it was a small group of us, and about 30. And he said, I want you guys to try hide. And I'm going to turn my back and just try hide from my sight. So he turned his back. We all went and hid. And then he turned around and he literally found us all in 2 minutes, all 30 of us. So he goes, okay, stop. He goes, look at me. He goes, now turn your back. He goes, I'm going to go hide. And then he said, turn around. And we turned and he was gone. But then he just stood up 30 seconds later. He was right in front of us. I think that was the most profound thing. He said to us, he goes, I looked at this scenario and I said, there's a tree, there's the water, there's bushes. He goes, what's missing in this picture is a log, a piece of wood that had fallen. So he laid on the ground like a wood that was fallen. And we didn't see him because he completed the picture. He goes, if you want to hide from somebody, you have to complete the picture. He goes, so you have to look at what's in front of you and say, what should be here? And you hide. And he was able to change his body to look like a log and he disappeared. So shape shifting has a lot of potential in terms of if you want to lose yourself or if you want to find yourself, or if you want to survive, or if you want to get away. So it has lots of abilities and you need to know how to do that. Okay. Make sense? So ask me questions, guys. It sounds like some of you have questions. No? Okay. Let's get started and we'll kind of work from that way. Sounds good? All right. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Hold on. Let me just try this. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody now, okay? All right, guys. So stand up. Okay, start to kind of move your neck, right? And try to keep everything else as still as you can. Just move your neck, right? It doesn't have to be very fast, but you should move it. Now your shoulders, again, try to hold everything else as still as you can. So it's just your shoulders, right? and now your elbows. So there's going to be a little bit of movement in the shoulder, but try just focus on your elbows. Neck again. Shoulders. Elbows. Wrist.
Manny, sometimes you're getting a bit of an echo. You might want to mute one of the, maybe the laptop.
How about now?
Still a little bit.
No? How about now? No?
No, it's worse.
Hold on. How about now?
Perfect. Yeah.
Better? Okay. So wrists, fingers. So remember, keep the wrist and elbow straight. Fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders. So wrist, elbow, shoulder, wrist, elbow, shoulder. Everything else stays straight. This I like to think of like Bollywood, right? Like it's your shoulders, wrist, and elbow. The main key here, guys, is just to keep everything else really still. Good, shake it out. So now the sternum, so the middle part, so stick out your chest, and then in the back, open your back up. So it's inhale, the chest opens up, exhale, the back opens up. So it's kind of rounded, right? So you round it here, and then you round it behind you. And it's mostly upper back, right? And you kind of get start to get some movement in your upper spine. Okay, now your stomach. Breathe in, suck in your stomach. So it's like you're on the beach, and now you're at home. Let the stomach hang out. In, suck it in, out. In, really in, right? Out, in, out, in, out. Now your low back. So some people have more of a curve than others, but let's say I have quite a bit of a curve like that. So what I'm going to push it out. So I'm going to tuck my bum in and round out my low back, and then I'm going to bend it. So it's like I'm playing with this curve in the low back. Just flatten it, curve it. Flatten it. Now you can flatten it by tucking your bum in to make it flat, and then let it go back to normal. So tuck it in, and it's really into the low back here. And out. In. And out. Now, I'm going to go off topic for a second here. How many of you have problems with your low back? Be honest, guys. Just put your hand up. If you get, so let me show you just a real quick fix that's worked for me, right? So put your feet together, right? Put your feet together. Put your two hands right on top of your hips, okay? And I want you to bend forward, almost like a waiter, right? Just bend forward and hips away, okay? So the big bone of the thigh, you're pushing it back, okay? And as you start to relax, go a little bit lower and lower and lower. But what you want to feel is that you're pushing your hips back so that your stomach has more room to fall forward. Now, some of you have more stomach than others, but that's a different story. And then at some point, you can't push anymore. Let your hands dangle. Like when you can't go any further. And that. Now, try to just get comfortable there, guys. Try to allow the body to just get comfortable in that stretch. Don't force it. Don't pull on it. You stretch by relaxing, not by forcing. Very good. And slowly come up. And put your hands on your hips. And just watch my shoulders. Do you see what my shoulders can do? Okay. I want you to very slowly do the same thing with your hips. Okay. I know some of you might feel like it's a bad impression of some striptease, but try your hardest not to visualize that. I know it'll be hard for some of you, but so it's like the hips, like see my shoulder can come up. So I bring that hip up, and then this shoulder, I bring that hip up, or bum back, or hips forward, right? So everything your shoulders can do, you should be able to do with your hips as well, okay? This is very important, guys, because we sit too much, and we need to be able to move our pelvis. It should be like our shoulders, free to move. Try to keep the upper body as still as you can, and you're just working with the hips right now. And very slowly, as the hips start to move, relax the knees, and that the hips and the knees start to move together. So because it's the same bone, it's the femur, it's connected. So as the hips move, the knees are going to move too. And you want to visualize the knees moving around the foot. So just think of your knees making circles around your foot. And that circle now, you should start to feel it almost in your whole body. So the circle starts, and I can feel it in my knees. I can feel it in my chest. I can feel it in my head. Like in other words, my whole body is making a circle. Okay? And you can go one way, and you can go the other way. So I feel so relaxed, like the whole body is making the circle. But the source is from my hips, okay? Awesome. Let me just explain a little bit further. In a lot of martial arts, but I'll use boxing as an example, right? You often see the boxer, punching, but the power of the punch comes more from the hips, okay? If you're talking like a shot put, it's the same thing. If I want to throw it, I turn, and it's the hips is the generating power of what I do, okay? It is the same in Systema, but in a different approach, right? We keep our hips relaxed, and in this way, punches and kicks, they always originate from the hips, okay? So before you get excited, I can see some of you trying, I know, okay? Just start to make small circles with your hips, okay? Just very small circles, okay? And then allow your thought to start, say to yourself, knees, chest, head, feet, and the whole body starts to make circle. You feel like your whole body is one circle. And when you get that feeling, start to throw a punch or reach for something, right? And you see that from this moment of your hips comes your strike. It's not from mind to fist. It's from your hips try not to visualize bad things, guys. It's just ordinary things, right? You're telling your body that the source of power, real power, is generated from the hips, not from your mind, from your hips. If you had to say, there's nothing heavier than this part of your body, guys, so heavy. If you can figure out how to generate that power, you got it, okay? Try it with your hips to your fist. Okay, just a couple of minutes now. Guys, think of your punches, but instead of thinking of the fist, think of the hip. Think of the body, think of the fist. Say hip, body, fist. Hip, body, fist. And just start to practice some punches. Let me just watch you guys. Feel free to take a few steps, guys. Yeah, Jill, you can take a few steps. If you can figure out how to use your hair, Jill, you're going to get extra power for sure. I don't have that much hair, so it doesn't work for me. Remember, take a few steps and just talk to your body. The power comes from the hips. It's transferred up the body to the spine and then to your fist. Ralph, the hands are much too fast for the hip. Your hips are half the speed of your hand. You got to move the hips more than your hands. Guys, just watch me for a second. Watch me for a second. Some mistakes, okay? Your hands are going too fast. You have to make sure yourself, you say hip, body, punch. You have to make the right connections. If you don't talk to yourself, so hips, chest, punch. If you start kind of doing this, and it's not the same thing, right? Hips, chest, punch. If I'm a baseball player, right? Think of it. Hips, body, throw, okay? Hockey player, exactly, Jake. That's exactly it. For hockey is the same thing. Try it a couple more minutes, guys. Be very, you're mind mapping right now. You're mapping your mind. Talk to your mind. Hips, body, punch. That's a little better, Ralph. That's a little better. Michael, that looks good. That looks good. Don't be afraid to touch your hips, guys. Don't be afraid to try those things. Awesome. Very good. Now, just watch me for a sec, guys. So the same idea with the legs, right? Let's see if I can lower this down a little bit. There you go. See my legs. So I start to move my hips, then my knee, then my foot. So I make a circle with my hips. I move my knee, I move my foot. Okay. So I make a movement with my hips. I make a movement with my knee. I make a movement with my foot. So you have three things: hips, knee, foot. Hip, knee, foot. Hip, knee, foot. So just start to kind of move now with your kicks. So first move your hip, second move your knee, third the foot comes. You can walk around a little bit too, guys. You can walk around. Yeah, it doesn't have to be static, right? Alberto, you're going straight. You got to take your time. Don't worry about the kick. There's nobody bad in front of you, I promise you. Yeah, hip. Now lift the knee. Take your time between the knee and the foot. Take your time. Don't rush. It's not a whip kick. Hip, knee. Alberto, just watch me for a sec. Hip, knee, foot. Don't do this. Okay, hip, knee, foot. Guys, you're working with your mind right now. You're mapping your mind how you want things to be. You got to see things differently in life. That's it, Michael. That's it, Oleg. Guys, have conversation with yourself. Now is the time, right? In real situations, you're not going to do this conversation. Now say to yourself, hip, knee, foot. You have to see that breakdown. Try it with your eyes closed, guys. Try it with your eyes closed. Don't kick a wall. Just be careful, but try to see if you can feel it different with your eyes closed. Hips, knee, foot.
Emmanuel, should the foot follow through, or should the hip follow through with the motion as the foot moves?
Say that again.
In other words, should your hip continue to move as your knee and foot are moving?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Just the volume is quite low, so I'm trying to see if I can hear you. Jules, that's you. Can you repeat that, please?
So say you're doing a circle with your hip, and then that movement's transmitted to your knee and your foot. Should your hip continue to move?
Yes, it can move. Yeah, it's good. So if you watch my hip, Jules, look. So my hip's moving, right? And then my knee comes up, but my hip's still moving, right? The shoulder, the elbow, the fist, they're all connected. It's hard to isolate that much. But guys, stop for a sec. Just watch me. So when I was boxing, okay, when I was younger man, you would say to yourself, jab, right hand, left hook, jab, right hand, left hook, uppercut. You would work at 1/3 the speed, but you would talk to yourself. You would say, jab, right hand, hook, uppercut. And you would talk. Now's your chance to talk to yourself about what you want. And then when you fought, it was quick, when you're trying to learn something, like memorize something or understand something, you have to repeat it to yourself. Like you know the proper chain. Hips is the first. So hip, so say to yourself, hip, knee, foot. And then later on, it'll become more automatic and it'll be much more natural for yourself, okay? Try it like that, just one more minute, okay? Have a good conversation with yourself, guys. This is a good time, There's nothing wrong with going for a long walk and talking to yourself. It's a good time to put things into perspective and can help you in your life if you learn how to have good conversations with yourself. Right? Don't rush. There's times to rush. This is not one of them. Okay, good. Talk to me, guys. How does it feel? Unmute if you need, guys. Just unmute yourself if you have something.
Energized.
I can't hear it, guys. Maybe is it my fault? Is it on my end? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you somebody say something? I can't hear anything. If you're
Can you
somebody
hear
talk,
us?
unmute.
Manny, can you hear us?
Here, how about now?
Manny, can you hear us?
Now I can hear you a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know why the volume's just really low. Sorry, guys. I don't know, something between the two I haven't coordinated. Okay. How is it? Ask me questions. No? Jake, you got to speak up.
So it's kind of like when you row, legs, body, arms,
Yes?
same progression, right? And then you reverse it going back.
Exact same thing, guys. Yeah, exact same thing. So what I want you to try now is try it on a multi-level. So if, let's say, if I could imagine you as a fighter on ice, this is a great way to practice. Okay, guys. So if you're walking on unsure footing, okay, whether it's forest or ice, you would never depend on your feet. So when I'm walking through ice, I put my balance here. Okay. I put my balance here. So I don't put my balance on my feet because it's slippery, right? So you can't depend on it. So when I start to work for my hips, I find that I can kick and I can punch quite easy because I have my power source here. This is where my power is. So what I want you to do now is start to move from the hips and start to throw punches or kicks. It didn't matter at all. So you're moving from the hip, and watch how your body will naturally rotate more. And you'll find that you'll get hidden power from rotations, okay? Don't punch from the shoulder. Don't punch from the hip. Punch from the movement of the whole body through the hip, right? Because this is beautiful training for multiple attackers or multiple situations. You can't just stay in one spot, but you move your hips and everything kind of follows. Yeah, be free, guys. This is very free. You didn't feel restricted. You can punch 360 degrees, okay? Your body will be able to take any shape you want. Not too bad, guys. Remember, think of the power source. The real power is in your hips. Move the hips. Don't hold the hips steady. That's it. That's it, Alberto. Very good. That's it. Jules, that looks good. Ralph, move the hips a little bit more than the arms. The arms are very active. Try to move the hips as much. Miro, that's good. Yeah, move around. Guys, if your hips are loose, you're like a dancer. You can change direction at a moment's notice because the hips allow you to be free. Awesome, guys. Watch me for a sec. Very good. So a lot of you know I do a lot of shooting, mostly competition shooting. I'm not a tactical or military guy at all. But if you ever watch pistol shooting, proper pistol shooting, it's very, very prim and proper. Everything is very static. Everything is very regimented to be super accurate. Imagine if somebody's shooting back at you. Imagine what that would look like, okay? So it goes from this to like, it goes to something drastically different when something is coming back at you. It's one thing for you to just shoot at a target and not have to worry about anything coming back. It's a whole other ballgame when something's coming back at you, right? So this ability of changing the body's position or shape shifting somehow is real good application when things are coming back at you. So try to understand that when you're working with this work, it's when things are coming back. Like if I'm in practice, it's fine for me to sprint, but in a game, people are going to try to tackle me. I have to learn how to kind of hurdle over people and do these different things, right? So it has its origins, shape-shifting, in things that are unpredictable, right? So if I'm in a crowd and I'm in a busy subway, not now, of course, but let's say in 3 years or before that, I'm walking through a crowd. I have to be able to change my body as I'm going through the crowd because there's just too many people and I don't know how everybody's going to move. So I have to be willing to move. I didn't expect everybody to move for me. You know, I'm not like the Pope. Okay. Like you're not famous people. Everybody parts for you, but short of that, nobody will part for you. So you have to change your body. Have you ever seen somebody go through a crowd without moving? They're just bumping into everybody and pissing everybody off, right? You have to be able to your body, hips and feet to be able to move. Okay. So this is some of the origins of some of the stuff that I'm talking about, shape shifting. Okay. Questions? No? Make sense? Jake, speak up.
So when you watch like Gene Kelly, the way he does that,
Yes.
he moves, right? And it's like,
Yep.
there's no effort at all. He's just moving.
I actually watch a lot of the dancers. I love them. And people have commented with me about that it looks like I've studied dancing. And I've never done that at all. I have never had any formal dancing, but I just learned how to move myself and I'm free and people think that's what it is. So I can only tell you that's what people have told me. And so I'm sharing that. So, but I've never had any formal training at all. I've never even tried. I just know how to move my body and then maybe I guess it looks like dancing. Can only tell you that. Anybody else? Do you see value in this, guys?
Yeah.
So when you're doing multiple attackers, when you're dealing with 2, 3, 4 things at the same time, your body is going to look like this, right? It's a funny story. The guy was a really fast runner. And then one day the coach brought his dog and put a piece of bacon on the back of his pants. And that guy ran like he'd never run before. You know, his ass was tucked in. He was like this. And somehow he ran really fast. The motivation was really good. There was a dog chasing him. And he didn't care about what he looked like. Okay. So he ran faster in an awkward position, right? As a fighter, if you can allow yourself to take whatever position necessary, you might actually be better than you think. Okay. I can only tell you from my personal experience, I've had 4 mass fights, none of my fault. I just was in the middle of it. And Systema works perfectly. It never let me down, not once, not for 1 minute. It served me very well. But during the training, I felt stupid. When was I going to need this? Or I didn't understand it. This kind of work comes really alive under real pressure. So I can only tell you 4 times that happened to me out of 4. I don't know what you're going to need to prove it to yourself. But that's why I believe in this work so much. It looks awkward, but your ability to change shapes and do whatever it takes to escape a stimulus that you don't like is very important. Okay? Make sense, guys? Yeah? Yes? No? Okay, good. So let's try something else now. I'm going to leave that topic. We can study this till the cows come home. There's so many ways of studying this. But I think you got the idea in your head now. That's the most important one, okay? So think of that idea and see if you can apply it to some of your training in the months or years, I don't know, whenever it comes, we can use it again, okay? I want to show you some stuff now with stretching your breath and understanding how to do that in a relaxed way, okay? Can we progress on to that? Okay, so stay with me, okay? So just stand up, right? Everybody with me? So take a breath in and squat down, and a breath out and come up. Okay, so that's like 1-1. Okay, so now I want you to do 2 squats breathing in. So 2 squats breathing in, 2 squats breathing out. So it looks something like this. We can do it together. Ready? Start. So breathe in, keep breathing in, breathe out, keep breathing out. You got it, right? Now 2 squats breathing in, 2 squats breathing out. So it's a total of 4 squats, but 2 and 2. Okay, we'll do it together. Start to breathe in, start to breathe in, breathe out, breathe out. So you start to manage your breath. You have to make your breath stretch out depending on what you're doing. 3 and 3. Start to breathe in. Keep breathing in. More. Breathe out. Keep breathing out. Breathe out. Stay where you are. Take a deep breath in. Clean yourself. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now we do 4 and 4. Okay. Pace yourself. First squat is 1/4. Second, 2, 3, 4. So you got to segment it. Okay. Together. Ready. Breathe in. A little bit more. A little bit more. Last one. Breathe in is deep. Breathe out. Little bit. Breathe out. Breathe out. Last one. Breathe out. Stay where you are. Breathe in. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. In. Out. 5 and 5. Slowly together, okay? Breathe in. Continue breathing in. 3rd breath in. 4th breath in. 5th breath in. Slowly out 1 breath. Out 2nd breath. 3rd. 4th exhale. 5th exhale. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in and out. So guys, I usually do this up till 10 or 12 sometimes. We're not going to do that today. I'm going to have you start with 5. This is something I want you to practice. There's a couple of reasons, okay? When you learn how to stretch your breath, you actually learn how to stretch time. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to just leave that out there. I'm going to let it hang for a bit. When you can stretch your breath, you can stretch out time. Okay? So you're studying how to stretch your breath. Second thing is you're studying how to manage space. So I have to do 5 with an inhale and 5 with an exhale. So you're also stretching distance and space. Okay? I want you to try this now with your push-up. Okay? So everybody on their stomach? Okay, get on your stomach. So start on the ground. Start on the ground, okay? Don't move. Just take a breath in. Take a breath out. Really relax yourself. Take a breath in. And then take a breath out. So hands beside you in a push-up. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, go down. Good. Breathe in, come all the way up. Continue to breathe in, go down. Breathe out, come up. Continue to breathe out, go down. Rest at the bottom for a second. You want to rest? Remember, when you're doing it like this, it's a very mindful practice of exercise. You're not going to failure or fatigue. You're trying to understand something. It's a different approach. Hands beside you again. Breathe in, come up and down. Breathe in, come up again and down. One more time, breathe in, come up and go down. Breathe out, come up and then go down. Breathe out again, come up and then down. And one last time, breathe out and then down. Rest at the bottom now. So that was 3 and 3. 3 push-ups inhaling, 3 push-ups exhaling, okay? Try to make sure that the first and the second and the third are the same. So now we're gonna do 4 and 4. The first should feel the same as the fourth. I know it might not, but you're trying to do this. This is the important part, is that you try to make this happen. Everybody ready? Hands beside you. Breathe in, come up and down. And the second push-up, keep breathing in. Third push-up, keep breathing in. Fourth, and then 1, breathe out. And then second push-up, breathe out. And third, until you get to the fourth, and then rest. So when you're resting, it's not just a physical, it's a mental one as well. Clear your mind. Try to clear your mind as well. Hands beside you again. Last one is going to be 5 and 5, okay? Remember, you have to make the first push-up and the 5th push-up feel the same. They won't, but try to make them feel the same. Ready? First push-up, breathe in. Second push-up. Third push-up. Fourth. And then 5th. Now you start to breathe out. First push-up. Second push-up. Third push-up, fourth push-up, and 5th push-up, and rest. Jill, really good. That was nice, well-paced, Jill. Slowly roll over to your back. Slowly roll over to your back. Inhale for 1 second. Exhale for 1 second. Inhale for 2 seconds. Exhale for 2 seconds. Inhale for 3 seconds. Exhale for 3 seconds. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. Breathe however you like. In and then out. Try to just see where you feel comfortable in there. Put your legs together. Breathe in, lift your legs up and down. And then breathe out, lift them up and down. Now 2 times. 2 times lift your legs up, inhaling. 2 times exhaling. Rest at the bottom. When I say rest, it's more for your mind. It's more of a mental thing. Put the legs together. Now 3 times. So 3 leg raises on an inhale, 3 leg raises on an exhale. Try to make the first and the third feel the same. Rest at the bottom when you're finished. Put the legs together again. 4 and 4 now. 4 inhaling, 4 exhaling, leg raises on your own. Go ahead. The slower is harder, guys. So if you want to challenge yourself, you go a little bit slower. If you want to, don't feel like it today, it's fine. You go a little bit faster. Every day is a little different for everybody. When you're finished, you relax, okay? You relax and you try to center yourself again. When you're ready, guys, the last one is 5 and 5. 5 leg raises inhaling, 5 exhaling. Try to make the first, the fifth feel the same. As you're lying on the ground, open yourself up. So open your legs, open your arms, like in a big X of some sort or wide open. Yeah. And just breathe now, but don't put so much focus on your breathing. Just close your eyes and just start at the top of your body, like your head. And with your breathing, slowly scan your body, like with maybe inhale, think of your forehead. Exhale, relax your forehead. And then inhale, think of your eyes. Exhale, relax your eyes. So with every inhale, you bring awareness to your body part. And with an exhale, you relax that body part. And you start literally from the head and work your way down like a scan bar, like a laser. And just try to calm and scan your body and shut it off. Each part, there's a light switch on each part of your body. And you shut it off. This process would take me almost 5 minutes when I practice this at home. This way you truly learn how to shut your body off for the night and how to turn it on in the day. You know, to create good line of communication with your body. Learn how to talk. We understand the value of talking to our kids and our wives, but we don't understand the value of talking to our body the same way. You have to talk to it, build a good conversation with the part of your body, all parts. Once you kind of finish, you just breathe to your entire body as one piece. So you went through it individually, and then try to breathe to your body as if your body was one big lung. So it's not like just 2 lungs in your chest, but that you feel like your whole body is one piece. allow your attention now to drift towards yourself. And when talking about yourself is just the person you are, like father, husband, or whatever job you do. Just try to see yourself as you are. Okay, try to be as honest and who you are. Just try to see exactly that person. For me, I'm a teacher, a martial art teacher, a father, husband. Try to see yourself exactly as you are. And you want to bring as much clarity to that picture as you can. Very good, guys. Stay where you are and just allow that idea to pass from you. Okay, just allow that, literally just like a passing cloud in the sky, just it passes by. And I want you now to try to see if you can change how you see yourself. Try to imagine yourself as something completely different. So I would, if it were me, I would say, wonder what it would be like if I was an astronaut, or wonder what I would be like if I was a scuba diver. Try to see yourself in a different way. So allow your mind to change, much like you just practiced with your body. Allow your mind to change how you see yourself. And it doesn't have to just be one. You can change it. You can imagine yourself a scuba diver, an astronaut, and then a couple of minutes later, see yourself as something completely different. It didn't matter what it is, but something totally different. If you feel that you're a nice person, try to imagine yourself as a bad person. If you're a bad person, try to imagine yourself as a good person. Completely become something different in your mind and allow your mind to see something different. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, as you start to change these ideas in your head about yourself or the way you are, try to see how your feelings changed about yourself as well. Sometimes when you imagine yourself a good person, if you're bad, you feel weak. Some people have this idea that being a good person means you're a weaker person than if you're not. And try to see somehow when you're a good person and you think of yourself as a bad person, you feel somehow angry. Sometimes as you see yourself in a different job or role, you feel different. Just pay attention to those feelings. Very good. And now just allow yourself to maybe come back to a little bit more reality of who you are and see if you don't feel a little bit different about yourself. Or if anything changed, maybe you liked imagining yourself as a bad person, or maybe you liked imagining yourself as a good person, or you liked these different ways they made you feel. if you haven't already, please open your eyes. Don't move, just open your eyes. And just allow yourself to kind of readjust or calibrate. Like as you're leaving the inner world, like you want to very slowly pressurize your mind like a scuba diver would pressurize himself. As you start to surface back into the real world, just slowly open your eyes and bring yourself into the room and allow yourself whenever you're ready to sit up. And just come close whenever you're ready. I like the way you got up, Joe. Very good. How do you feel, guys? You feel okay? So the concept of shape shifting or changing yourself, okay, has a physical connotation. It also has an inner connotation. So I'll give you an example, a couple examples in my life. One of my first jobs after university was working for a telephone company. And I used to just answer the phones. I was just literally that guy that picked up the phone and helped you with your cell phone. And people were pretty mad back then. So I got a lot of angry people because they weren't very honest with them about how the whole thing worked. It was very shady business at the beginning. I usually did well calming them down. And there came a point after a couple of years that I wanted to apply for jobs that were quite different. Management jobs, managers, different things like that. And I realized that the biggest challenge you have is that people see you one way and they have a hard time seeing you another way. Okay. So, and I remember that happening and I'm like, so how am I going to solve this? So I remember one day turning to my director and I said, yeah, I'm going to be taking a course on becoming a manager. There's a weekend course, $1,000 about how to be a good manager. And I wasn't a manager at the time. I was just an employee at the company. And she looked at me, she says, oh, you're gonna take a course. I said, yeah, I'm gonna take a course. And she goes, oh, let me know how it goes. I said, I will let you how it goes. So next weekend came and I talked to my manager and I said, yeah, the course went great. I did really well. I really enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, I think it's something I'd probably be pretty good at. And I just walked away. The seed I planted in my director's head was, now in her mind, she saw me differently. She didn't see me as an employee. She saw me as somebody that's interested in changing and doing something more. And next time there was a job posting and I applied and I interviewed and I got the job. Now, was that a coincidence? Because I would have applied for 5 jobs before that, but nobody that was interviewing me could see me as something different. Okay? One example. Second example, I'm training in martial arts. I went to Sistema and I started training under Vladimir and I loved it. And then I remember coming in and seeing Vladimir tired one day. It was like 4 or 5 years into training. I showed up and he looked quite tired and he just had his kids and stuff. So I guess he wasn't sleeping too well. I was still single at the time. And I looked at him, I said, you look really tired. Do you want to go home and sleep? I mean, if you need, I'll try teach the class. I wasn't trying to be a teacher. I just wanted my teacher to have a break. He looked just tired. And he said, really? I said, sure. I didn't expect him to say yes, to be honest with you. And then I said, okay. And he went off and I taught the class. And he really appreciated it. But I had to have a conversation with him the week after saying, after you left, 5 people just walked out. They didn't want to learn from me. They just left. And I don't want this to affect your business. He looked at me and he said, Emmanuel, do you think those people really care about what we're doing here? I thought of it and I said, well, I guess not, right? And he goes, exactly. People that care will stay because they understand that I can't do everything all the time, right? And I just looked at him and said, yeah, but this doesn't seem right. He looked at me, he goes, 6 months. He goes, that will all change. I said, okay. And sure enough, it did. People had a hard time seeing you as a teacher. They had a hard time seeing me as a teacher. because they only envision me as a student. So what you're really working with is changing how people see you. And that also applies to yourself. How do you see yourself? I couldn't see myself as a father. I couldn't see myself as a husband. I wasn't, but guess what? I did those, and it just took a little bit of time and people saw that. So you have to be patient with yourself when you want to see yourself as something different, right? All of you are quite special people. Otherwise you wouldn't be on this right now. You're fighting with what ideas you have in your head and you want to change them. Please be patient with yourself. It just takes a little bit of time for you to see yourself as something different. That's all. Okay. And that is a shape shift of your mind. Is your mind flexible enough to say, I can be a father, I can be a husband, I can be a manager, I can be this, I can be a teacher. Is it flexible enough, right? To be able to do that. And a really funny story before I go is I was in Greece 2 years ago and I was with my family and they went off to go buy tickets to go to the Acropolis or to go to the Olympic Stadium. It was Olympic Stadium, you had to buy tickets. So I walked up, I said, okay, I'm going to see if I could shape. I'm a tourist right now. I look like a tourist, completely look like a tourist. I walk up to the security guard and the security guard's got a machine gun, guys, not like Toronto security guard. He's got a machine gun and he's protecting the Acropolis. And I walk up to him and I said, I'm going to see if I can fool this guy. I walk up to him and I'm walking and I didn't even stop. I just start to walk right past the guy. He goes, hey, where's your ticket? And I just turn around and I yell to him in Greek in a street yell, like, what's wrong with you, you stupid guy? I live here. What are you insulting me for? Like I'm a tourist. I'm here to see this thing. It's my country's property. I really laid it on. It's okay, man, sir, relax. And I just turned to him, I started laughing. I go, no, I'm from Toronto, man. I just was here. And he goes, holy shit. He goes, you sounded like a pure Athenian. He goes, you were mad, you're angry, you changed. I saw you as a tourist, but then when you talked to me, you changed. You became like a local Athenian, angry at anybody like me. So I was able to change my shape quickly to fit into what it's like to be in Athens 2 years ago. And he got a great laugh out of it. And I did eventually get my ticket and I went in. But I'm just telling you, do you have the ability to change how you see things, who you are? These are very powerful things, okay? They're a survival tool in martial arts, but in life, they're also quite powerful as well in a different way, okay? I know all of you are gonna do great things in life, guys, but the hurdle for all of us is not doing it. It's can we see ourselves differently in our mind? And this is the biggest way we need to change our shape in our head, okay? Make sense? Do you have fun, guys? Did you enjoy it? I don't know what's going on. I've got to figure this out when I go home, but the audio is kind of funny. I don't know if I hear you guys clearly. I can hear you kind of faint, but I'll fix this for next week, I promise you. And I'll post this in about a day or two, okay? If there's ever a topic you want me to cover, please let me know, okay? Just send me an email and I'll do my best to get it in. Otherwise, I just keep coming up with stuff after Friday night of drinking on my couch. So you let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to keep rolling with the vodka, all right? Have a good one, guys. Thank you for coming. I'll see you soon.
Bye. See you.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend. Have a good week.
Manny,
I'm in
Yes.
Vlad's class tonight.
Where-
In Vlad's class.
I'm here. I can hear you, Joe.
where do I go to look at the classes on demand?
I need you to send me an email.
Okay.
Okay. So email me to the Fight Club email, which is initials
Okay.
at fight-club.ca. So if you go on the Fight Club website, that any of those things, it's my initials basically, at
Okay.
fight-club.ca.
Yep.
Send me an email. I'll set up a profile and I'll send you how do you get on to all the classes. There's probably about
Okay.
5 months of classes there.
Ooh, okay. Thanks so much.
You're welcome, Jill. It's good seeing you. Bye, guys. Have a good one.